And here's what's making headlines this morning. We do have new surveillance video into our newsroom of an attack in downtown Dallas that may be hard to watch. Dallas police say they're looking for a man responsible of an unprovoked attack that happened in broad daylight in downtown Dallas. The video shows a woman waiting at an intersection when a man behind her hits her over the head with some object, knocking that woman down to the ground. He then walks across the street as if nothing happened. If you have any information about this attack, please go ahead and call police.
Hello, everybody. I'm Heather Hayes.
And I'm Steve Eager. Dallas police are investigating what appears to be an unprovoked attack at a downtown Dallas intersection. Fox 4 obtained surveillance video of the attack. A woman is waiting at an intersection when a man comes up from behind and strikes her. She falls to the ground, and he casually walks away. Fox 4's David Centender in downtown tonight with more. David.
Yeah, it is being called an unprovoked attack. In that video, it is brutal to watch, and it happened at 1:15 in the afternoon. Video obtained by Fox 4 shows a man using some sort of object to slam a woman over the head in downtown Dallas Thursday afternoon. The woman drops to the ground. The attacker continues on his way, crossing the street, appearing as if nothing happened.
We don't need stuff like this going on in downtown Dallas.
Noah Robertson lives and works in the neighborhood.
I've never seen somebody just hit somebody and walk away like nothing happened.
Especially someone who at least appears to not know the other person.
Yeah, I mean, that lady's just standing there and that guy hits her for absolutely no reason. That's crazy.
The crime happened at the intersection of Elm and Field Street. Downtown Dallas Inc., the nonprofit that hires security in the area, calls this an unprovoked attack and says security officers were on scene moments after it happened. The victim was transported to a local hospital. Dallas Police Department is not saying what her condition is or if it has leads on a possible suspect.
Well, you know, obviously things like that are profoundly disturbing.
Lori Smith is visiting Dallas for the weekend. She says the video reveals a sad reflection of a crisis seen in communities across the country.
Where people are so disturbed that they just are possessed to do something like that.
Downtown is usually pretty cool, but I have seen some crazy stuff down here. It gets wild down here at night for sure.
But this crime took place during violent daytime hours in downtown Dallas. It was just blocks away the same afternoon where someone shot 3 people in an apartment building. There's no way to connect the two attacks, but they both happened in the middle of the day, right around lunchtime.
Honestly, I can't believe it. It makes me feel kind of unsafe. I'm going to be watching my back now.
Downtown Dallas Inc. says it is working with Dallas Police Department in hopes of identifying that suspect. When we were in that area earlier today, we did notice a handful of additional security cameras, ones that were not the camera that showed that video in the story. We'll keep you updated when we learn more information. But for now, Heather, Steve, back to y'all.
I was clawing at him, grabbing at him, trying to hurt him in any way that I could. And I was screaming so loud for help.
Tonight we are hearing from a survivor and a fighter. A man tackled and stabbed Morgan Evanson at least 14 times as she walked home from work in Uptown.
We talked with Evanson Monday night after she spent several days in the hospital. She says it happened last Wednesday as she walked home near West 32nd Street and Fremont Avenue South in Minneapolis. Evanson says she could feel the man walking behind her. She turned around to look at him when he charged her. She says they fell on the snow and struggled for several minutes. During that time, he repeatedly plunged a knife into her body. Morgan fought back, and eventually people in the neighborhood rushed to her side.
I wasn't going to let him hurt me. I think as a young woman, you hear stories, you know, of attackers and being weaker. And I was really trying to be brave.
You were going to fight for your life.
Yeah. I don't want to change who I am and be scared. I don't want to be afraid to walk, you know, a few blocks home from work. I don't want to have that fear. So as soon as he's caught it, you know, I'll be so thankful, and I hope that this can never happen to anybody else from him because it's just horrible.
Evanson says she wants that man who attacked her to know it's not okay to attack people, especially with potentially deadly weapons. Minneapolis police haven't made any arrests, but have released a description of the man. They say the suspect is a Somali man in his early 20s. Police say he's about 5'7" and was wearing an army green colored jacket and gray stonewashed jeans.
A Kokomo family hopes they could finally be getting answers in the death of their loved one.
Yeah, Fox 59's Kaylee Schuyler spoke with family who can't believe this day has finally come after 16 years.
Since November 2006, the Kokomo Police Department has been working to figure out who shot 21-year-old Chad Rouse during an attempted robbery in his apartment on Armstrong Street.
In 16 and a half years, we've missed a lot of good times with him.
48-year-old Kevin Maddox and 36-year-old Amber Brigham have been arrested in connection to the case. A witness says the two entered the apartment during a fight and Rouse was shot in the back. Both suspects are charged in connection to robbery, and Maddox is also charged with murder for Rouse's death.
I was like, is this for real? Is this really happening? I was just like dazed. I didn't know. I was like, I'm not going to believe it till I get to the police station and they tell me.
The arrests come after a grand jury reviewed evidence from numerous leads police have followed over the years.
Typically be level 1, level 2 type felonies. Because this offense had actually occurred back in 2006, before those changes had taken place within the legislature.
The family says this isn't over yet.
We're happy, but we're still a little nervous, scared. We definitely need people to still talk.
Maddox and Brigham are sitting in the Howard County Jail. The Howard County Prosecutor's Office is handling the case. For now, the family will continue to celebrate Chad's life.
We do lanterns on his death date, and then
his birthday
we do birthday balloons.
In Kokomo, Kaylee Schuyler, Fox 59 News.
We ask that you would join us in praying for justice.
Matt Rogers is a son looking for answers after his mother was robbed and viciously beaten last week in Saginaw. That woman, Kathy Rogers, is now in recovery and out of the ICU, but her family says she still has a long way to go.
This experience has shook my family to our core. We have cried many tears, and there will be more tears as we process what has happened.
The beating happened in the morning hours of February 6th, when police say Timothy Green entered Rogers' office inside the Jefferson 1 building in downtown Saginaw. They say he took her coat and purse and then left the building. Saginaw Police Chief Bob Roof says that if it hadn't been for someone noticing the suspect throw away that coat and purse, they may not have found Rogers in time.
An observant citizen saw something that looked out of the ordinary, stepped forward and called 911. That's how the ball got rolling on this. That's how we ended up finding the victim.
And Chief Roof tells us that one of the main reasons behind the suspect's capture was because of security cameras placed throughout the city.
Through good investigative work, our patrol officers and detectives located some of those cameras in the businesses, and we got the footage of the individual suspect.
As for why Green attacked Rogers, Chief Roof says that matter is still under investigation.
Sets a $2 million bond for the man accused of running over and killing a woman yesterday in Murray Street after an argument. Anthony Cooper faces a charge of second-degree murder. Court documents identify the victim as 21-year-old Anastasia Rayborn. Her family provided Fox 8 with these photos of her. According to court documents, detectives are reviewing surveillance video that includes audio. A woman who lives near yesterday's crash site says her cameras captured what she believes was an argument before Rayborn was hit by the vehicle, which crashed into a building.
And good evening. That breaking news coming in less than an hour ago. Kelso police announced the arrest of a suspect in that deadly robbery early yesterday morning. We received this mugshot of DeAnthony Williams, captured tonight in Camas. And this is a look at the police presence there from just minutes ago, where roads are still shut down now.
It's been quite a busy scene out there for several hours. Let's go to Longview, where K2's Keaton Thomas is live outside the Cowlitz County Jail with more. Keaton?
Well, DeAnthony Williams was actually brought up here to the Cowlitz County Jail earlier this afternoon, booked into jail. According to jail records, at about 8:30, he's facing charges of first-degree murder, first-degree robbery, also possession of a stolen vehicle and meth. That stolen vehicle was actually found in Vancouver today. Meanwhile, I did speak to folks here in the Longview-Kelso area who say that this whole crime has really affected a pretty quiet community. What happened inside this convenience store is tough to take. Tough on loved ones who showed up at memorials over the past 2 days, but tough on so many more here in Kelso.
It's unusual to have a murder like this.
It hit close to home for Gary Castillo.
I thought it was terrible.
I knew the girl a little bit, because I'd stop at that store.
30-year-old Kayla Chapman was shot during a robbery early Tuesday morning. Nearly everyone had kind words to say about her. Security images show a suspect with a bandana over his face leaving in a white sedan. Police say at least one other person was involved. All this changed some people here.
It's made me a little more aware of my surroundings, that's for sure.
Katie Hagan didn't trust me when I first went to talk to her in a store parking lot.
You made me very nervous. I have a conceal and carry, and I absolutely made sure to, because I didn't know who you were.
It could happen to anybody you know, because it's so local and so close to home.
For Amanda Eubanks, all this made her rethink going out alone at night. Williams was taken into custody without incident. Police also say that there are at least 2 other people who were in that suspect vehicle, asking them now to come forward. For now, we're live in Longview. I'm Keaton Thomas, K2 News.
All right, Keaton, thank you. And the search for those 2 other suspects brought in agencies from around the region, including Oregon. K2 News confirmed tonight Gresham police were asked to keep an eye out. And in Longview, police are investigating a possible connection to an armed robbery at a Mexican restaurant in December. The victim, who owns Monarcha in West Longview, tells K2 a man pulled her by the hair, pinned her against the wall, then put a gun to her husband's head. They made off with $1,500 in cash and her phone.
New at 10, an execution date is set for a man convicted of killing a Kirkwood police officer in 2005. Kevin Johnson will be put to death by the state of Missouri November 29th. As a 19-year-old, Johnson shot and killed Kirkwood Sergeant William McAtee in 2005. He's being held in the Potosi Correctional Center.
Thank you, Angela. Tomorrow, Kevin Johnson scheduled to be executed for the 2005 shooting death of a Kirkwood police sergeant.
Fox 2's Laura Simon joining us now live in Kirkwood with a closer look at a hearing set for today, which could stop that execution. Laura?
And Blair, good morning. There is a last-minute effort to halt this execution. So basically, the Missouri Supreme Court will be having a hearing today with a closer look at whether or not Kevin Johnson should be put to death tomorrow. But we do want to give you a little bit of background on this case, as Johnson was convicted 15 years ago of killing that veteran officer. So here's a quick look at the background of this case, as Johnson is scheduled to be put to death by lethal injection tomorrow. Court documents say that he killed the officer during a fit of rage over his brother's death, which he blamed on police. So Johnson was convicted back in 2007 for the killing of Kirkwood Police Sergeant William McAtee. Johnson's attorneys claim that racism played a role in the judge and courts seeking the death penalty, and that it should also be reconsidered because he was 19 at the time of this. Johnson's daughter and several anti-death penalty activists are also calling for Johnson's death sentence to be overturned today. They're planning a rally outside of the Missouri Supreme Court this morning where that hearing is being held. Johnson's 19-year-old daughter, Corey, recently lost her efforts to watch her father. She was challenging a Missouri state law that bars anyone under the age of 21 from witnessing an execution. McAtee was a 19-year veteran of the force and left behind a wife, a daughter, and 2 sons. Reporting live in Kirkwood this morning, I'm Laura Simon, Fox 2 News.
Good evening. I'm Brent Solomon. Mike and Ann have the night off. Just a little over 2 hours ago, Kevin Johnson was executed by lethal injection. 5 on your side's Robert Townsend now with the very latest developments from the state prison in Bonne Terre.
After more than a 2-hour wait, Kevin Johnson was executed here at this state prison for the murder of Kirkwood Police Sergeant William McAtee 17 years ago.
Bill was killed on his hands and knees in the front of strangers and people he dedicated his life to.
For the first time since that tragic and heartbreaking day, Sergeant McAtee's widow spoke out during a brief news conference after the execution. Mary McAtee held back tears as she talked about the day Johnson ambushed, repeatedly shot and killed her husband, the father of her 3 kids, as he sat in his patrol car. The fallen police sergeant's widow and 2 loved ones witnessed the execution of 37-year-old Kevin Johnson.
His children were devastated that their dad was murdered, being 7, 10, and 13. They didn't have a chance to say goodbye. It took 17 years of grieving and pushing forward to get to this point today. This is something I hope no other family has to go through, because you truly never forget or get over.
Mary McEntee only read her statement and did not take any questions from reporters. 4 of Kevin Johnson's family members witnessed his execution. In Bonne Terre, Robert Townsend, 5 on your side.
And that execution was delayed as officials awaited a decision from the DOJ. In a statement, Governor Mike Parson said he hopes this will bring some closure to Sergeant McEntee's loved ones.
New at the top of the hour, heartbreaking memories of a mother shared by her family after she's killed by a stray bullet.
One man is facing charges after 29-year-old Bethany Mefford was hit while she was in her bed. Deputies say another resident was firing his weapon at suspected car burglars at the apartment complex in the Humble area yesterday. Jason Miles joining us live. Jason, the victim's family agreeing to sit down with you this afternoon, saying they don't know how they're going to go on without her.
That's right. They want to make sure their loved one is just not some anonymous shooting victim. They say she will be sadly missed. The shooting happened at this apartment complex behind me. The mother was in bed with her boyfriend and their toddler, but mom never woke up. This neighborhood splash pad was among her favorite places to play with her 3 children. But Bethany Mefford's boys, all under age 7, will now have only memories.
Bethany lived for her kids. Everything that she did every day was for them.
Members of Mefford's grief-stricken family agreed to speak a day after her shooting death, mainly to humanize the woman who meant so much to so many.
The world lost an angel yesterday. I can't express that enough.
The Harris County Sheriff's Office says Mefford was simply sleeping when a stray bullet went through her bedroom wall around 2:30 Wednesday morning. A neighbor allegedly fired up to 15 times at suspected car burglars in the parking lot of their apartment complex, but ended up killing the beloved mother and partner.
I personally looked through the bullet hole and saw the outside light.
Ricardo Lung was Mefford's longtime boyfriend and father of 2 of her kids. He and the youngest were actually in bed with her, but only realized what happened when the alarm went off.
And she went out peacefully, and I can't, she had her eyes closed. She was sleeping normal.
Not normally is how this family will move on initially.
And I don't know how we're gonna go on without her. I've never experienced life without her, and I don't know how I'm going to.
But we will.
Especially for the 3 boys their mother loved so much. And Mefford's oldest son, named Miles, turns 8 next week, just days after Mother's Day, the first Mother's Day without their mom. Meantime, the suspect in this case, 28-year-old Darius Lewis, he's charged with manslaughter. His bond right now set at $75,000. Reporting live from Atascocita, Jason Miles, KHOU 11.
We're also continuing tonight to gather the very latest details on a woman who was shot and killed while sleeping in her Humble apartment.
Yeah, a story that we can't get over. The 29-year-old woman leaves behind 3 young boys, all under the age of 10. Liliana Pearson spoke to family members about this situation, and I'm sure this is something they're just having a hard time coping with.
I think saying having a hard time coping with it doesn't even begin to touch the emotion that her family is feeling. Behind me is the apartment complex that Bethany Medford died in while she was sleeping early Wednesday morning when that stray bullet came through her bedroom wall. Today we were able to speak over the phone with her mother, who was obviously incredibly emotional, but she did want to make one thing clear, telling us that Bethany was a bright light in a dark place. Today, I was also able to speak over the phone with one of Bethany's 4 sisters. Her name's Connie Watson. She lives in Pennsylvania, but she tells me she is traveling to Houston in the coming days to be with her family. She tells me Bethany was an amazing mother to her 3 boys. She says that she was there for everyone and anyone, whether they needed a shoulder to lean on or an ear to listen. She goes on to say that because of this death, her life and the life of Bethany's sons will never be the same.
I've never been so sad in my life, but I'm mad. Mostly for the boys, because don't ever have that life with her that she wanted for them, and though all of us will be there and care for them, nobody can do it like she did.
The suspect is a man named Darius Lewis. He says that he was trying to scare off people that were breaking into his car. He says he came out with a gun and shot at the ground. Law enforcement says evidence at the scene does not support that. Lewis is in jail facing manslaughter charges with a bond of $75,000. We did call Lewis's family today, but they did not wish to comment. Connie says after her sister died in her bed, she feels nowhere is safe.
I need everybody to know that they don't know what they took from us, and my family will never recover or be the same without her. We really won't.
Connie urges all of us to pick up the phone and talk to our loved ones, telling me today that she wishes she had one more chance to talk to her sister and tell her how much she loved her. From Humble, I'm Liliana Pearson, ABC 13 Eyewitness News.
A man charged in the murder of a teen in Fairfield could now be facing the death penalty. New counts have been added to the charges against Anthony Jones as he made his first court appearance.
KCRA 3's Kevin Oliver was there for that hearing and has more now on the special circumstances that could elevate this to a death penalty case. Kevin.
That's right, Colston and Edie. Those three special circumstances are prosecutors believe that Anthony Lamar Jones committed murder while in the commission of a kidnapping, in the commission of a rape, and the commission of a molestation. Prosecutors have yet to reveal why they have named him as a suspect, even though there is no obvious or apparent connection to the victim in this case, and they say Jones has no criminal history. Anthony Lamar Jones was led into the Solano County Courthouse in black and white stripes and shackles. The public defender asked the judge to prohibit even these still photographs from being taken, but the judge said he would allow, quote, reasonable coverage considering the public interest in the case. Jones is facing charges of murdering 13-year-old Janelle Conway Allen. The man who found her body in a Fairfield park was in court to see her accused killer for himself.
She deserves justice, and I'm glad they were so quick in catching her.
But prosecutors and investigators are not releasing any details about why they believe Jones is the killer. Prosecutors did ask the judge to extend a restraining order against Jones in the unlikely event he is released. Jones' wife got a restraining order a few days before Janelle Conway Allen disappeared, saying he was so violent she feared for her safety. Several friends and relatives of Jones came to see him in court, but refused to discuss the case after the hearing. Now, Jones is being held in the county jail with no bail. Prosecutors, or rather defense attorneys, said that they had 1,000 pages of documents to go through. They declined to decide whether or not he should enter a plea today. Reporting live from Fairfield, Kevin Oliver, KCRA 3 reports.
Kevin, thank you.
Up this evening, we're hearing from the 80-year-old victim of two crimes. Houston police say first she was targeted by scammers before getting robbed at a Bitcoin ATM.
That robbery was caught on camera. Jason Miles speaking with the woman. He joins us live with an interview you only see on KHOU 11. Jason.
Yeah, your heart really breaks for this older lady. She admits she may have been too trusting or even naive, but she's certainly not the first person to fall for a scam like this. Sadly, the robbery just added insult to injury.
Police say the 80-year-old woman seen getting her cash-filled envelope snatched in this video,
my nerves are just shot,
was the victim of an old-fashioned robbery committed by these two suspects, as well as a more sophisticated phone scam at the hands of Bitcoin fraudsters.
I mean, it really upset me. Just about all of the money that I had was gone.
Although the video was just released today, the robbery happened back on July 12th at this Midtown convenience store, some 13 miles from the victim's West Side house. It's where a scammer named Jennifer convinced the victim to make very hefty deposits at this Bitcoin or crypto kiosk after claiming her banks had been hacked.
She said you would get your money back in 3 days, any money that I drew out of the bank. And of course, that didn't happen.
Police say Jennifer also convinced the victim to install an app giving her control of her phone and access to the crypto account once money was transferred. She allegedly coached the victim on how to withdraw amounts totaling roughly $76,000 without inciting suspicion.
It's one of the wildest things that I've seen in my career with the department.
HPD robbery detective Jeff Breeden says that even after the robbery, the victim withdrew more money and returned to the same kiosk.
Very unfortunate for the victim, in which she's been scammed out of all this money, but now she's also been scammed out of, or she's been robbed.
Ironically, the victim tells me her late husband was a longtime police officer and that he would have likely smelled a rat. Now she hopes the alleged scammers and robbers all end up in jail.
Well, I certainly hope that they get caught, because I'd hate to see this happen to somebody else.
And get this, according to the Federal Trade Commission, Bitcoin-related fraud went up 900% over the last 3 years. If something seems funny, always check it out. Check it with your bank directly if possible. And if someone tells you to be secretive about the transaction or the relationship they're having with you, that is certainly a major red flag. Reporting from HPD headquarters downtown, Jason Miles, KHOU 11 News.
I am infuriated for her. It is so unfortunate that this happened. Jason Miles this evening, thank you.